That's great.
Thank you.
Adam Brandon.
So there's a lot of talk about socialism. A few years ago, I used to live in Eastern Europe, so let me tell you a joke. This man goes into a store, and he's standing in line for hours, and he's trying to get some meat. And he gets up to the front of the line. Guess what? No meat. So he yells, "Oh, cholera." And there's like this KGB guy behind him, and he pulls out his gun. You know, you could get killed for saying stuff like that. So he walks home, goes home, and his wife's there. He's like, "Were they out of meat again?" He's like, "Worse. They're out of bullets." So can you believe we're living through a socialist revival in this country right now? President Kennedy, a Democrat, ask not what you can, what you can do. Ask not what you can do for your country. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And then you have Congresswoman Omar, who came here as a refugee and is disappointed. But you know what? Good for her. Nike. How many of you are no longer buying a pair of Nikes in this room? Thank you. They banned a shoe because our original Betsy Ross flag was controversial. Good. And I'll get to why I'm positive about all that. But where we are right now in America is our founding principles are absolutely under assault. And what I mean by that, here in Colorado, I look at this vote by mail thing that you have here. That's bad news. You know, I look around the country and I see calls to end the Electoral College. That's very scary. The reason that I think this is an absolute assault on our basic founding principles is that, folks, we are a republic. We are not a democracy. There is a very big difference between a republic and a democracy. In a republic, you have rule of law. Our founders knew, after living through tyranny, minority rights are the cornerstone of our system. Because if you have democracy, pure democracy, democracy is mob rule. 51% can do whatever they want to everybody else. And our founders knew that. Plato, you ever hear of that smart guy from Greece? He wrote a book 2,000 years ago called The Republic. In that, and I reread it last year, I couldn't believe it. Plato said 2,000 years ago, before you have tyranny, you have pure democracy. What a warning from the foundation times of Western civilization. So we're under assault. This is real. And sometimes when I say this, people, like speaking to younger crowds, they'll be like, it's not going to happen here. Folks, not that long ago, Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the world. Argentina, at the end of World War II, was one of the top 5 economic powerhouses in the world. Where are they today? I am sure if you would go back 50, 60 years ago, they would say, that stuff could never happen here too. So remember I said I'm glad? I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad they're saying that, because for a little while, I was getting mad. Well, this is setting the stage for 2020. You could see the battle lines for the presidential debates already starting to happen. It's basically, let me boil it down. One side's proud of America. One side is not. So that's why it's good when Omar is out there talking about how disappointed she was we took her in at her most vulnerable moment. That's why I'm glad that Nike is telling you, the consumer, you know what? We don't want your business. Because that shows the opportunity that we have. I've got some quotes. I don't know if I get an email every morning from Scott Rasmussen, the pollster. Fantastic stuff. Here's 3 things he had this week. 10% of Americans see the Betsy Ross flag as controversial. That means 90% don't. 95% of Americans believe there should be some kind of process to immigrate into the country. 95%. 74% of Americans are proud of our history. And this cuts across all races, everything. Here's another one, though, from the Democratic debate. Did anyone watch the first debate? I'm sorry, shouldn't have done that. The first question asked, and I think this is great. The first question is 72% of Americans believe the economy is good to great. 0 out of 20 Democratic candidates agree with that statement. So let them keep talking. Let them keep sending their vision out. The facts are, America's with us. But this is the call to action that I have. Everyone in this room, I'm so happy that you're here. But folks, don't let this end your involvement for this upcoming cycle. Let this be the beginning. If you go out during the breaks, there are so many great groups that are here. I mean, I'm very proud of my shop, Freedom Works. I'd love for you to have you join our work. But there are so many other organizations that you have to get involved in. You have to get involved. You have to get involved. Get off your chair. Get involved in this process. Connect with these people that polling is showing they are with us. So I want to spend a few minutes left. A couple more jokes from my time living in Eastern Europe. What is the most permanent part of a socialist economy? Temporary shortages. So here's another story, another joke. And by the way, most of these jokes involved long lines, which was a permanent part of their society. So this person's standing in line all day. And then they get up to the counter finally, and they're in the meat store. And they ask, "Hey, can I have some of my meat?" "Oh, I'm sorry, but we don't have any meat. We're all out today." He's like, "Well, do you have any milk?" "No, I'm sorry. The store that's out of milk is across the street." All right, thank you, everyone.